So you're starting to see a genuine dividing line on the right when it comes to the general election. There are the Republicans who just love Trump, and they're going to go along with Trump no matter what. And that's the end of it. And then there are Republicans who, they might agree with Trump's policies, but they genuinely feel like, I'm sorry, I cannot support him. He tried to overturn the last election, and that's completely unacceptable. That means you're against the peaceful transfer of power. You wanted to hang on to power illegitimately. He's broadcasting he's going to try the same thing if he loses this election. And those Republicans are saying, I just can't do it. I can't have you with the power. So this all ended up coming to a head. And on CNN here, you had a MAGA Republican and an anti-Trump Republican debate. So let's watch, and then we'll break it down.
Jeff said something in his speech that actually hit, and by the way, he's our colleague, and I'm not, it's not a personal attack, but he said, he sort of inferred that if you don't vote for Harris, you're not a patriot.
And I would agree with that.
And I have to tell you how profoundly poorly that's going to hit a lot of Republican ears. Look, there are plenty of Republican voters who are lukewarm on Trump. Maybe they wish he hadn't run again, whatever. But to be told that your choice is, your patriotism is dependent upon your choice just because you prefer a Republican government.
You prefer
I thought that was a poor argument. I thought that was a poor argument.
You prefer someone who didn't try to overthrow the government.
The Republicans are saying you're not an American if you vote for Harris.
I've never heard anyone say that.
I've heard many of them say that.
People were making fun of us because we were women. Yes, people were literally questioning us because we wanted to wave our own flag at the Democratic National Convention, talking about when did they start loving America? From the day I was born. Here's the thing. He's not saying that you're not a patriot if you vote for Donald Trump. He's just saying, this is my interpretation of it. He's saying, I love this country beyond any one person. And somebody who tried to overthrow our election, somebody who didn't stop for hours, because I'm pretty sure we agree on this, because we've talked about this even on air. When an insurrection was happening at the Capitol, when you support somebody who has done that, that is not patriotic. And then when you have that be your party's nominee, sometimes you got to call a spade a spade.
Because that happened does not mean I or Katie or any other Republican has to give up on every single value that we've ever had, whether it has to do with taxes or the court or any other policy. You're asking Republicans to turn over the government to absolute radical liberals over one day, and I'm not prepared to do it because I believe policy choices I believe they matter to the future of the country.
And what policies are you endorsing if you endorse Kamala Harris?
I'll tell
we
you
still
what you
don't
are
know
endorsing
fully.
if you endorse
Let me finish real
Donald
quick,
Trump.
please. We still fully don't know. Are we going to get the 2019 Kamala Harris, who came out of California and had all these liberal positions, that she wanted to ban fracking, that she supported the Green New Deal, and now we're hearing from advisors and mixed things, oh, maybe she doesn't, maybe doesn't. Are we going to have 2019 Kamala Harris from California? Or are we going to have a new Kamala Harris who wants to win swing states the position changes?
Either one is better than Donald Trump
on any given
day. If you believe, Scott, let me just,
listen,
Scott, just a second.
Let me let Stuart get his point.
I can remember being on the bus with you, with Romney. And this is something that really stuck with me. And one of the aides who worked for you had misspelled something in a press release. And you very, very nicely, you weren't mean, you said, this is someone running for the presidency of the United States, to sit in the Oval Office. We have to be at that level and treat it with that respect. How do you say that? And then you get Donald Trump, a sexual predator, a criminal, someone who we know is just a horrible human being who doesn't believe in what we believe in rule of law. And all this policy stuff, they're not going to remember what the tax rate was or what, This is basically, it is a character test, Scott.
It's more than that. It's more than what the tax rate is. Profound policy implications and decisions are coming from the next administration. I firmly believe if the Democrats win and if they somehow keep control of the Senate, which I don't think is likely, but is possible. They will eliminate the filibuster, and they will change this country in a way that we can never recover. That is important to me.
What
now,
does
listen,
that look like?
I don't begrudge your viewpoint, but you cannot begrudge a Republican for wondering, hey, maybe it's not a great idea for us to drive off the left side of the road so far we can never find our way.
Oh, my God. Kamala's going to change the country in a way where we can't go back. Again, that's a rich thing to say when the main line of criticism against Donald Trump is he tried to overthrow the last election. There was a coup attempt. There was an insurrection. There was the fraudulent elector slates. There was the pressure put on Mike Pence to flip. and to not certify Joe Biden as the winner, right? I mean, look, you got to give him credit for honesty, the MAGA person here, because he's basically admitting, I mean, I want tax cuts for the rich. I want deregulation for big business. So I'm not going to give up on those policies just because the guy is a petty tyrant and an authoritarian and he wants to destroy our constitutional republic and representative democracy. I mean, here you have a guy in Trump. Could you imagine any Democrat said the words that Trump said, that we need to terminate all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution to get me back in power? Could you imagine Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Bernie Sanders said those words? The right would literally never shut up about it, and they'd be calling for that person to get arrested. But Donald Trump says that, and then they get outraged if you say, I don't know, that's kind of un-American, right? I mean, what the fuck else would you like us to call it? It's clearly authoritarian. He's clearly hates the Constitution. God damn it, man. But look, he was honest. His honest point is, I care more about tax cuts for the rich than I do about, protecting the country for the future. And this guy makes a great point. The other guy's like nobody's going to fucking even remember what the tax rate is, but they are going to remember if you tried to put back in power the guy who tried to do a coup the last time. And again, he's broadcasting this time too, if I lose, I'm not going to accept that I lost, right? And all of these people, for so many Republicans to just go along with that, I don't know, man. I find it disgusting. And look, let's keep it totally real. On the Democratic side, there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They also did their own version of anti-democratic actions. They canceled the primary election in North Carolina. They canceled it in Florida. I think they canceled it in one other state. They, of course, tried to remove New Hampshire as the first competition in the country. And they tried to put South Carolina first because they knew Biden had better numbers in South Carolina. That's the state that really kicked off his victory the last time. So they tried to front load it to let Biden win. So they did all these dirty tricks. Including in some states literally just canceling the election. They're currently suing to try to get Jill Stein off the ballot and Cornel West off the ballot. I don't care if you like or dislike Jill Stein or Cornel West. This is supposed to be a representative democracy and a constitutional republic. They have a right to run. And the Democrats are trying to kick them off the ballot and keep them off the ballot. That is definitely anti-democratic. But the difference is, every lefty I know acknowledges these things, admits these things, say that's absolutely disgusting and grotesque, and there should be consequences for that. And of course, they should be allowed on the ballot. And of course, we should have had an election in North Carolina, and we should have had an election in Florida, primary election. Whereas on the Republican side, there's nothing. There's no criticism. It's fucking crickets. It's all just a boatload of rationalizations as to why actually it's okay, and actually it wasn't really a coup, and it wasn't really an insurrection, and this is overstated. He literally said in this rant, he was like, oh, I'm supposed to throw him under the bus for one day? Like for that one day? You mean the day that they tried to do a coup? Yes. Fucking 86 criminal charges, and he's sitting there like, oh, I don't know. I sure do like his tax policy. Like, oh my God, bro. My God. So yeah, I can't. Look, I'll say I'm happy that you have these people who are Republicans who are like, are you fucking out of your mind? You can't support this guy. Because it does sort of feel like we live in the twilight zone when you find people who at this late date are still pro-Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because not only did he try to overthrow the last election, not only did he do the fake elector scheme, also, the guy who ran in 2015 and 2016 and pretended to be populist and pretended to be anti-war, he did not govern like that. So all that's left is this weird authoritarian cult-like figure who's wrong about everything. And so to still support that guy, I'm sorry, I have no patience left. And I have no respect for you if you support that guy. So anyway, MAGA versus anti-Trump Republican. You guys make your own mind up. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.